Hi, Chara parents. We are back again with Mrs. Barbara Gruner from the Friendswood area. She is a well-respected and well-known educator here in the Friendswood area, and she was with us a couple of months ago when we were talking about building resiliency in our kids, helping them with feedback. And today we're going to be talking about your dancers' mental health and that anxiety that we've seen creep up in our dancers really post-COVID is what we're kind of seeing here at the studio. And so, I just really have one question for you today, Miss Barbara, and that's, what are some tips you have for our parents on how to manage their dancers' mental health and help reduce their dancers' anxiety?
Yeah, after COVID, thank you again for letting
you're
me
welcome.
come back. After COVID, we saw a lot of isolation. And so socially trying to get them back into the swing of things has been really difficult in the schools. So I imagine you're having that here as well. We weren't together and we were all scared and we didn't know what to expect. And so our mental wellness did take a hit.
Yeah.
Anxiety is a big buzzword right now. So I think the first thing is we have to decide, is it just a generalized anxiety or is it something deeper where we're probably supposed to be heading to a counselor or a mental health practitioner? But for your generalized, it's just kind of localized, something is making me nervous and I'm just feeling stressed out and I'm feeling stuck.
Yeah.
We want to get in touch, first of all, with our brains. So the amygdala is what's happening probably. The amygdala is tucked inside of our brain, so think about it like that. This is the prefrontal cortex, and there's your amygdala. It's part of your limbic system.
Okay.
It's the little guy that tells you whether it's fight, flight, or freeze.
Okay.
Right? It's really like a smoke detector in our brains because it doesn't know if there's a full-blown fire. If there's some smoke, it's going to go off. We're going to flip our lid because it's doing a little jig under there, right? So we have to be able to get some strategies to calm that little fella back down so we can tuck it back into our prefrontal cortex. Because when it's doing its jig, we cannot make any decisions because this is our decision maker.
Okay.
So I think the first thing is teach the kids about what's going on in their brain when anxiety attacks.
Yeah.
Then when it does, you want some strategies.
Yeah.
The easiest one I've ever heard of is drink some water.
Okay.
You can't be swallowing and prefrontal flip your lid at the same time.
Interesting.
So when you swallow, your brain does this cool thing by putting that prefrontal cortex back down.
Okay.
Water.
Okay.
It also helps, of course, with the hydration.
Yeah.
Sometimes our amygdala is dehydrated.
Right.
Just our bodies are dehydrated.
Right. Sure.
Another one is looking up. It's going to have that same swallow mechanism. With the littles, I'll say, let's skywrite our name or let's draw a picture in the sky. And they have no idea I'm directing them to look up. But it's that same mechanism because I'm trying to get that prefrontal cortex back. Until it is, you're not making any good decisions. You just aren't because it's doing its thing.
Okay.
Whether it's fight, flight, or freeze. Those are for those kids that are fighting you, that don't show up, or that are stuck.
Right.
Like you've seen it, they're stuck, right?
Yep.
Less immediate ones, taking a walk, physical movement can get you unstuck. Journaling, gratitude. They have found you cannot be in a state of anxiety and a state of appreciation at the same time.
Interesting.
So now I'm not saying if you've got anxiety diagnosed, just be thankful. That's because I don't want to minimize that. But if I'm just feeling stuck and I can get a journal or in my head or better yet out loud, say I'm thankful, for my breath. I'm thankful for my friends. And like specific, as specific as you can be, because specificity drives significance. Okay. So the more specific we can be with our gratitude, the better.
Awesome.
Okay. Then I also mentioned breathing.
Yeah.
And the Army, they use square breathing. You're just going up, holding it, going back out, holding it, and you're making a box.
Okay.
I've seen that effectively in schools. Let's do some box breathing. Let's do some square breathing. Because once your breath is normalized, you can harness it. Okay. How many breaths do we take a day?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Between 17 and 35,000.
Oh my gosh.
The average is 25,000. So imagine the power if we harness that and make some of them intentional, rather than automatic.
Sure.
So that can bring that amygdala safely back into its little limbic system womb where it wants to be.
Okay.
So journaling, service. Of course, anytime you can go out and serve, when you can go from me to we, anxiety goes up and empathy goes down. So if you want empathy back up, service is where it's at. Turning it from me to we. Saying, okay, I'm out of whack. but somebody else can need my help right now so that my troubles can kind of go away for a little while and I get a break from all of that self-talk that's bringing me down.
Yeah, that's great. Those are some good tools, even for our parents and our teachers and our staff
they don't
members
cost
here.
Anything.
Yeah.
Like they're so easy. They're super quick.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And then in the long term, of course, if you need to go get some counseling, I always recommend that.
Yeah.
But I always like to try the least restrictive,
absolutely,
most like tangible, right away.
Right. Yeah. And for our parents who have students who are struggling with that, you know, normalizing that it's okay for them to be struggling, and it's okay for us to identify that and to help them. You know what I mean? I feel like some of our parents are upset, you know what I mean? And so I just, you know, I want them to feel like it's okay that we can come along and work alongside them, you know, to help their dancers too.
For sure. Anxiety can be so frustrating. Oh, I have anxiety. Oh, so you don't have to work today? Like, I mean, there's a closed mindset from when I was a kid. You didn't get an excuse, right? So sometimes people think anxiety comes off as an excuse. Right. It's not meant to be for the person who's feeling it. They're hearing noises louder in their heads than most people, depending on the trauma that they sustained. Sure. And they may physically be stuck again because that amygdala is telling them don't move because there is some danger. Yeah. But normalizing it and saying, I felt scared. Tell your story. Like, when was the time you felt scared? Right. Normalize those feelings and say, you know, it sounds like you're really feeling stuck. I've got 3 choices. Which one do you think might help you right now? Just getting them moving around. Just saying, it's okay to be anxious, but we can't let that anxiety keep us from what we need to do. Yeah. Take a rest. Oh, a weighted blanket. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Get under the weighted blanket for a while. Yeah. There are so many really good tried and true strategies, but don't stay under that blanket. Sure. We need that amygdala tucked back in, and then we need to be able to get back out into the world. Right. And function. And
keep going. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Parents, you know, if your dancers are experiencing some of those anxious moments, you know, try some of these strategies, and, you know, also reach out to our customer care team or our leadership team too for, you know, tips on helping to prime your dancers for the activities that they're going to be in, if that will help to reduce that anxiety as well. You know, come take a tour of the facility, or meet that new teacher that they're going to be having, or step inside, you know, Studio One if they've never been in Studio One before, things like that. Meet the assistants, things of that nature to help with that as well. We're happy to help because we want all of our dancers to feel loved and valued and accepted, and, you know, reduce any feelings that they might have. We just want them to have joy when they're here at Chara. So.
And they can choose joy. So again, that self-talk. Yeah. Not, I can't do this. What is my self-talk? I can be a dancer. I can give it my best shot. I can I can fail and still be okay. So it's going to go back to the resilience we talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Barbara. You are a wealth of knowledge, and we're so excited that you were with us today. And parents, I hope that once again, you got some more good nuggets from this video, and we'll see you next time.